Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be a fall favorites flashback video. I haven't done a flashback favorites in a couple months here, so I thought I would do one again. So I went back and revisited my October and November makeup monthly, all of the favorites that I listed in those videos, and I'm going to be chatting about if they are still favorites of mine, if they're still in my collection, my thoughts on them now. So if you want to see my fall favorites flashback, let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so first off, starting with October, the first item that I mentioned in my favorites category is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Light Wonder Youth Boosting Perfect Skin Foundation, and I am definitely still loving this foundation. Oh, I did want to say, I did just get done filming this video. This was my Ulta Haul and try-on video, and most things went pretty smoothly. The foundation we weren't so sure about, so if you notice things are looking off, it's because we just did a try on style video, so that'll be linked down below. But like I was saying, for this one, I am still really enjoying this foundation. I have the shade 5 Medium. This is more of a light to medium, well, I would say light to medium coverage foundation. I still really like it though. I mentioned this in my top foundations that I like for summer because the coverage is a little bit more on that light medium side, which I like for summer. But I still do like it now, and I'm filming this on Wednesday. I leave Friday to go to New York for Gen Beauty, which I'm super excited about, and this is actually the foundation that I packed. It's a plastic bottle, which I know some people might prefer glass, but especially if I'm traveling and going on a plane, I don't want something that I'm afraid is going to break and get over everything that I've packed. So I like traveling with this one also. I like the coverage though. I think it looks really nice, and especially if I'm going to be wearing it all day, I still think it's a really breathable foundation. So this is what's coming with me to New York, but I still really like that one from Charlotte Tilbury. I also had on there the Patchology Milk Peel. This is one of their sheet masks that they have, and I love the milk peels. You see them almost every single month when I do my empties videos, and I just used my last one 4 days ago, I think it was, and I knew as I pulled it out, I was like, oh no, this is my last one. So you can also get these at Ulta, and I think the next time I make an Ulta order, I'm just gonna have to purchase another set because I really enjoy them. I have sensitive skin, and even though it's more of an exfoliating peel, yet in a sheet mask, it doesn't affect my sensitive skin at all, and I just really like the way that my skin feels and looks after I use that, so that's still definitely a favorite of mine. Next up, I mentioned these Sigma Beauty liquid lipsticks. I'm still really liking the Sigma lips. I've hung on to both of these colors. I especially love Foxglove. It is such a beautiful kind of blackberry-ish color. It's just beautiful. I love Foxglove. I highly recommend it, but I also have New Mod, which is more of your standard nude, but this is a really nice liquid lipstick formula. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about these. They just came out with 2 more liquid lipsticks from their Viper collection that they just released. I just got that NPR, and I'm excited to try out those liquid lipsticks, but I think this is a nice formula. I also mentioned the Ofra Cosmetics liquid lipsticks, and this is one of my favorite formulas. I mentioned the Ofra liquid lipsticks quite a bit. I mean, they're right up there with the Huda Beauty liquid lipsticks that I love. I really enjoyed the Lawless Beauty liquid lipsticks, but also Ofra Cosmetics has some great ones. I am almost out of my Manila, which is a beautiful nude. I took this one on a recent vacation with me, and I was scraping at it because I wore it nearly every day on my vacation, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm almost out of Manila. I love this one, but I still very highly recommend the Ofra Cosmetics liquid lipsticks. So also I mentioned as a favorite from Krisanna Cosmetics, her single eyeshadows, and yes, I'm still definitely enjoying these, and I believe it was actually in my last makeup monthly, my September makeup monthly, that I touched on her 3 new single shadows and mentioned them as a favorite. So clearly these are still favorites of mine. Krisanna Cosmetics is an indie brand here. She has some great products, and I think my favorite of everything she's released so far has been her single eyeshadows. This is everything that she has out right now for her single eyeshadows, and she also does sell these magnetic cases, the sparkly cases, on her website too. So I would check those out if you're interested. But yes, this new collection is so beautiful for fall. These are really nice single shadows. I still highly recommend these. I also mentioned from Becca Cosmetics, this is the Apres Ski Glow Face Palette. So this was the holiday release last year from Becca Cosmetics, and I still love this palette. This was limited edition, so you can't get it anymore, but I really like a lot of Becca's palettes, like their packaging. I love this big mirror on it, but there is so many beautiful shades inside. I really like this one because you had a really nice bronzer, a really nice blush, and then you have different highlight options. And I was just excited for this one because a lot of these highlights you can get separately, but now I have a bunch in a palette, and I don't feel quite as bad using this because yes, the palette's limited edition, but like the highlights in here, opal, that's not limited edition, you know, rose quartz, that's not limited edition, so I don't like feel as bad. But yeah, this still is a favorite of mine, and even though it's limited edition, I'll probably not decluttering it anytime soon. So I did mention some skincare in there. So this is from Soap & Glory. It's the Super Hydrating Speed Plump Overnight Miracle Moisture Mousse. So this is what it looks like, and I haven't done a very good job. I don't know if you'd be able to see that. It's pretty dark, so I do have a light on, but I have not used a whole lot of product out of this. I was really digging it, and I was using it almost every night, I would say. It's really interesting texture. It says it's made with Air Amazing Bubble Boost technology, and it's super, super light and almost kind of like more like fluffy. Like a fluffy texture. I don't know if that makes any sort of sense, but it feels really good when you put it on the skin, and it just kind of instantly feels more hydrating. But I realized that I actually don't love it quite as much for a night cream. For my night creams, I like something with just like a little bit extra or almost like a little bit thicker. And for some reason, because this says it's an overnight mask, like I can never use that in the morning. Does anyone else do that? Like if something says day cream, I'm like, that's a day cream. I'm not using that overnight. Like I don't know, it's a really weird thing. So I kind of found some other night creams that I was preferring a little bit more, or like overnight creams, sleeping masks and whatnot. So I kind of put this one on the back burner. So when I saw it come on my list today, I was like, ooh, when's the last time I reached for this one? It has been a while. I also mentioned 2 different eye gels in there. One is from Olay. This is the Olay Eyes Deep Hydrating Eye Gel. This is like my 3rd or 4th one of these. I got it first in PR, and then I went on to start repurchasing them for myself. Olay got like expensive. I don't know when that happened. Olay, their prices really creeped up there. So a lot of times when I'm purchasing this, or I also really like their like dry cloths. I take them, they're already packed for my bag for Friday. They're dry cloths that you just activate them with water, and they take off makeup and like cleanse and everything. I usually purchase those. A lot of times I purchase them together, and I wait for like a buy one get one half off at Ulta. That's how I recommend purchasing Olay, because otherwise it gets expensive. But this is one of my favorite eye gels. This one comes traveling with me quite a bit because it's more smaller than like some of like the larger like jars that I have. But I love this for the morning because it's super cooling and works really well for depuffing the eyes also. So yes, I still highly recommend this one. I also talked about the Belif Eye Bomb in there. I had a little sample of this guy, like it was a Point Perk or something along those lines. So I had a little sample guy, and I used it all the way up, and I really, really like that one. And I hear so many other people saying great things about it. I just have not been able to repurchase it myself because it's more pricey, and I'm like, ooh. And the Olay one is one that I continually have and I continually repurchase. And even though it's a little bit pricier, I can usually sneak it in and get it for half off. So I haven't repurchased the one from Belif, but I remember that I really enjoyed it. So those were my favorites from October. So I feel like mostly a lot of those are still favorites of mine, just a few in there that kind of tapered off. But why don't we go ahead and move over to my November video. Alright, so first up for November, I mentioned this highlight here from Urban Decay. This is the Sin highlight, the Afterglow highlight. The shade is Sin. This is a stunning highlight, and if you guys were with me last year, you heard me just like repeatedly talk about the Urban Decay Sin highlight. I busted this one out the other day. I did a highlight declutter, and I kind of found some that I haven't reached for a while, and Sin was one of them, and I was like, oh no. You coming back out, because this is a really stunning highlight. So yes, this definitely is still a favorite of mine. I also mentioned a contour powder. This is from Makeup Forever. This is the S112 contour powder. So it looks like such. I just have this little pan here, so it's always just in one of my magnetic palettes. This is actually the contour shade that I have on today. I really like it for a contour color. I use it quite a bit. I don't have a lot of just like single contour shades. I have this one and I have one from the Balm. I have some in palettes, but if I'm not reaching for a face palette, I'm just going back and forth between this one and the one from the Balm, and I quite like this one still, so that was fun to see. I also mentioned a product from Olehenriksen. This is the Pore Balance Facial Sauna Scrub. I first got one in like a little set from Olehenriksen, a set of minis, and I loved it so much I went out and purchased the full size. This is either my second or third, I can't remember for sure, but I really like it, and you can see that I am getting down there. I just put it in my shower and use it like as I have conditioner in my hair. And it's really cool because when you squeeze it out and you start to apply it on your face, it's really, really warm, and then as you wash it off, it's more cooling. So I like this one from Olehenriksen. Still, I'll continue to repurchase it. I also mentioned in there from Pure Cosmetics the Contour Diaries set. I still have this one, and I still do a lot of traveling with this one also, because you have these 6 different shades here. You also do have a nice mirror, but this shade here I use as a contour. This one I use as a bronzer, and then I can kind of go back and forth between these two for setting on my under eyes. I'm, you know, cleaning up contour if I feel the need to do that. I don't know if you'd be able to see on camera on this one, but there's actually a pretty significant dent. Like I can actually see the pan. I can see the indentation of the pan. That almost never happens. That's really exciting to me. Oh, that's the only, I'm kind of surprised that's the only one you can see. I thought maybe the contour would do it also, but just this one I can see that really deep indentation. So that was pretty cool. But yes, I still highly, highly enjoy that one. It comes with me quite a bit. I also mentioned there the Soiree Diaries from Pure Cosmetics. This was the eyeshadow palette that came out in the same time with the contour palette. It had the marble packaging. I ended up decluttering this, even though I really liked it. I was giving it high praise, but it just seemed like it was a neutral palette, and there wasn't a whole lot different about it that I felt okay about keeping it in my like ever expanding eyeshadow palette collection. And I knew that I would have some people that I could pass it on to that would get a lot of use out of it. So I ended up decluttering that one, even though it was still a really nice palette, but that one's no longer in my collection. So just a couple items left. This one here is from Marc Jacobs. This is the InstaMarc High Filter palette. So it looks like this. You have a really large mirror on it, and then you have kind of like your setting powder and then also a contour shade. Man, there was a time that I mean, it was probably last November, that I was absolutely obsessed with this, and it was coming traveling with me, and I was using it all of the time. I love the 2 shades in here. I really like them both, but I really do like the setting powder. I thought it might be a little bit too yellow for me, but I still think it looks really good. It makes the under eyes look so smooth. I love the packaging on it. I loved the mirror. I haven't reached for this one in a while though. I'm gonna pull it back out because this one got so much love from me at one point. So yeah, I'm gonna pull this one back out. I need to play with it a little bit more. I also mentioned from Sigma, this is the ChromaGlow Shimmer and Highlight Palette. This was a palette that I was not expecting to enjoy. This was the palette. It looks like it has a mirror and you have 6 different shades inside. I was not expecting to love this palette because some of the shades in here, like this one here has that blue shift. This one's a little bit more purple. Some of the other ones are more kind of like your basic highlight shades, and those are the ones that I reach for the most. But I actually ended up really, really liking this one. This one here, Ambrosia, was definitely my most used highlight, and I can tell looking at it that it was my most used highlight out of this palette. But also Peaceful was one that I really enjoyed also. I've kind of kept this around because it has a few different highlight shades in there. I don't keep a lot of like colorful highlights, but I thought I would keep this palette around because I have that option if I want to reach for it. But I also have more of like your regular, I don't know what I want to say there, kind of like the more what I tend to wear for highlights in this palette also. So this one has stayed around through a handful of declutters. It's really windy and something just blew by the window, and I don't know what it was, but I'm kind of reading a spooky book and I thought it was a person. Woo! I think it was just like a piece of garbage or something, but whew, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. Okay, so that is the Sigma ChromaGlow palette. And then the last item that I had was another one from Soap & Glory. This was their one of their body washes. I remember having some difficulties finding it on the Ulta website, but it was like the Righteous Body Butter Shower, like in shower gel. I remember really, really enjoying that one because it was more like of like a thick, kind of like luxurious body cream in the shower, and I just kind of felt like I was like at the spa at the same time. I was really enjoying that one. I used it all up and I was considering repurchasing it, but I'm that person that has like 5 other shower gels on hand because Does anyone else get gifted like a lot of shower gels? I don't know what that's about, but I seriously have so many that I couldn't justify going out and buying another one when I had so many to use. So I never ended up repurchasing that one, but it was really nice. I just no longer have it in my collection. But after that, that was everything for my November favorites last year, and that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Alright guys, so you have to let me know what you thought of my fall favorites flashback video. What products can you remember me loving? What products have you loved? Has this inspired you to bring any out? Because there was a couple in here that I'm like, okay, I gotta put you to the front of my collection and use you a little bit more. But as always, if you guys did enjoy this video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.